to the League for Democracy, for Republic Democracy of Australia. We support Car Registration Australia, and we support Mind Freedom Australia, and we will never fund forced mind control that Labor and Liberal governments do. Also, a policy of League for Republic Democracy of Australia is housing the people of Australia. And that's why we already know the League for Republic Democracy already knows what landlords and renting's like in this country for Australians that are working hard for their survival in this country. And that's why the League for Republic Democracy policy is that we will fund a complimentary 3-bedroom home for every single Australian at the age of 19 will receive a complimentary, that's right, complimentary 3-bedroom home, fully funded, fully costed by the League for Republic Democracy of Australia, if they can form a government in this country, or if we see Labor and Liberal governments support this policy direction. The League for Republic Democracy of Australia support this policy direction and will ensure that every single Australian at the age of 19 receives a complimentary 3-bedroom home or equivalent. And we'll see construction stimulus, we'll see economic stimulus in this country. Everyone knows, yes, they can go to the bank, buy a house, then get an investment property and exploit someone to pay the investment off. Everybody knows this in this country. It's not rocket science to have an investment property in this country. Australians are tired of being exploited in this country, and Australians are tired of being exploited by Labor and Liberal governments. That's why the League for Republic Democracy of Australia will give every single Australian at the age of 19 a complimentary 3-bedroom home. This will end poverty in this country. This will end homelessness in this country. This will end exploitation just to have a roof over your head in this country. That is what we will do. That is what the League for Republic Democracy of Australia will do. And that is what we will do for the people of Australia. So, like I said, we support Car Registration Australia. We support League for Republic Democracy's stance, and they stand side by side with Mind Freedom Australia and side by side with protecting the interests of Australian lives in regards to Mind Freedom's Australia protection mechanism of Australian lives. And what the League for Republic Democracy of Australia will do for the people of Australia, we will house the people of Australia with complimentary 3-bedroom or as current Australians paying a mortgage off to the equivalent price of a 3-bedroom home, then they will receive that amount of money towards their mortgage. If their mortgage is over the 3-bedroom equivalent, then they will receive the 3-bedroom home cost equivalent mortgage paid off in full. We know 150 billion takes a month to print in this country. We know this, okay? And we as the Australian people should stand up against exploitation of our lives in this country. And that's why the 3-bedroom complimentary 3-bedroom home will be granted to every single Australian under the League for Republic Democracy. I'm not seeking election. If I was nominated for the leader of the League for Republic Democracy of Australia, then I would obviously run for League for Republic Democracy of Australia's leader. Yes, I manage the page. I am Harry J. Stiller. I've traveled to many countries. I've met many people around the world, and this is what Australia needs right now: is the 3-bedroom complementary homes for all Australians. We already know the exploitation by banks on house investments. We already see people are working until the age of 60 just to pay their home off. Now, come on, Australia. If it's 150 billion, 1 month, it's what, $150 billion take a month to print in this country. A month to print $150 million. Yeah, we see Scott Morrison, we see his brother clawing back money from welfare in this country, from the people who are doing it tough, that are being exploited, let go from their jobs or just studying. We see the Australian government at the moment clawing back money from welfare recipients and pushing them into a developed country. It's a developed country, but it's a developed country poverty. We see people homeless in the streets. The government, Scott Morrison, what he's doing is clawing back money from the Australian people. League for Republic Democracy of Australia is going to end forced mind control in this country. Supports Car Registration Australia and supports this complementary 3-bedroom home for all Australians in the country of Australia. And the League for Republic Democracy, we say, long live the Republic of Australia. And Labor and Liberal governments have definitely failed the people of Australia. And that concludes the League for Republic Democracy's live broadcast here on Facebook for the League for Republic Democracies of Australia Facebook page. Once again, we thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and we do acknowledge the first Australians and Indigenous Australians in this country and the elders past and present throughout Australia. We will not recognise individual tribal groups in Australia because we want to see a peace between all. We can study archaeology for as much as we want and that study of that science, but in regards to elders past and present, we recognise elders past and present Australia-wide and try to bring peace and unity to the Indigenous populations throughout Australia. And once again, the League for Republic Democracy thanks you for listening to this. And my name is Harry J. Stiller, and once again, thank you very much for your time here early today.